SFX presents the indoob podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indoobians, or even good evening, or even good afternoon, good day, good night, whatever time of day it is you happen to be listening right now. I am T. Sterling Watson, and this is the Indoob podcast. This is a special Oscars review episode with my special guest, Laura Mioli. As I know the Oscars were a couple weeks ago, as comparison to when this episode is being released, that's only because of my production delays. Let's just leave it at that. I will say that you're going to hear another special guest, which is not really a guest. He's just, an entity part of the show. You will hear Chief kind of at times whimpering in the background. I think he even barks a couple times. But that's because, as I explained in the show, he's in the room with me, but he wants to get out of the room to investigate other people that are in the house. And I didn't want him to do that because I didn't want him to bark, but then he ends up barking anyway. So yeah, good times. Anyway, please check out lauramioli.com, and that is spelled LauraMeoli.com. Please check out a lot of the things that she's working on, which, again, we get into later on in the show after we talk about some random things in between our Oscar review. We actually do kind of some reviews about the movies within the Oscars, such as another review of Selma, Birdman, Grand Budapest Hotel, which at the time I did not finish watching, but I have since finished watching. And I don't know, it's a decent movie, I guess. Maybe not the best film, but it is what it is. So this episode is different in comparison to the first two episodes, whereas this episode is just Laura and I conversing for about an hour. So you're not going to hear any breaks. You won't hear any other guests or any musical songs or whatever. So it's just us, old school podcasting. So enjoy.
There's one that's like a newborn baby.
Oh.
So
you have a breed over there.
There's a breed of monsters upstairs.
Oh, wow. All right.
It sounds like there is like a bowling alley. It's really loud.
We'll have to dive back into that later. So I guess what we'll start with is with the events that happened last night. Last night was Oscar night. It was a big night. I'll start right off the bat saying I was having high hopes for Neil Patrick Harris for being a good host, but I gotta say he kind of let me down.
Really?
I mean, he did some good things here and there, but like a lot of his jokes, I didn't write them down because I'm like, why am I gonna write that down? But
his intro song was really good though.
Oh yeah, that was good. That's what I'm like. Okay, this could be a good show. This
I kind of was hoping for the other guy in Tenacious D, Kyle, to come out.
Oh yeah,
I really love Tenacious D, so I was like, oh, they're gonna take over, and then he didn't.
Right,
so,
I was hoping for that too. I really was. A quick little Tenacious D. I don't want to say Tenacious D reunion because they've been doing stuff.
But like a takeover.
Right. I would have also liked to see that, and just you might have actually tweeted a little bit more Tenacious D or something about them keeping it going, but
yeah, we were tweeting.
yes, we were.
Nice tweeting with you.
I saw a lot of your tweets, and clearly you saw a lot of mine. So
yes,
yeah. I mean that's why I like live tweeting award shows, because a lot of the time, although it's kind of funny with the Oscars, my mom does like to watch them with me, but I do like to watch them on Twitter and live tweet, because a lot of other people are just, I feel are a lot funnier and just like, wow, I've just got to join in with this party.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I've just recently started that. Like, I'm not really one to do that, but I like it now, especially when you have people who have similar likes and dislikes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like the Emmys or the Oscars, something like that, where you actually know the movies. Like this year, I actually knew the movies because I went to the Oscar movie marathon where I watched almost all of the Best Picture nominees.
So tell me how that experience was.
Well, I would say it's a good value because if you were to go see, I don't know how many movies was it, like 10 or
Um,
9 movies?
it's either eight or nine. I
Yeah.
think something
If
like
you
that.
were to go see all of those throughout the year, you're going to spend like $1 million. But
Okay.
this was like $65 right in Times Square. A bunch of our friends went. They go every year. Hi to them. That was a lot of fun. I
Hmm.
mean, you get your seat, and as long as you're comfortable with who you're sitting with, I mean, you can bring food in. I like how they kind of lined up the movies. They played Boyhood first,
Okay.
and then they went to Theory of Everything, Birdman, Selma, American Snipers, and then they kind of like put all the really popular ones in the afternoon.
Okay.
So, and the ones that were overnight, like Grand Budapest Hotel was the last one, which it's on HBO. So I left and I watched it at home.
I still haven't half. I have a half an hour left on that movie.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
couldn't sit through it.
No, it's not that I couldn't sit through it. I kept either having things come up, or
Yeah.
I think the last time I got up, I went to go get some ice cream. I just had a craving because
it's
that's
those pastries in the movie.
you know what, it could have been that too, but the fact that I knew and by the way, this is gonna happen a lot. I'll just kind of digress into other things.
Sure, sure.
Ben and Jerry's has new cookie core ice creams.
Really?
Where like one of them is peanut butter. I don't like that one, or I've never had that one. I'm not a peanut butter cookie person. But one has a chocolate cookie core,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a speculous. I think I forgot how to. I meant to look it up, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
basically it has got cookie butter core in it, and like the kind of cookie whatever it's made out of. Like some has dough on one side, and then like there's actual cookie pieces on the other side. So I like the chocolate one and this cookie butter one, and I have both of them or I had both of them in the freezer. They're both gone now.
So is it like a cookie sandwich, or is it's still in the Ben and Jerry's container?
It's still in the container, but in the
Okay.
very center, there's like a core of either cookie butter,
Oh,
which is
okay.
nice and thick, or the chocolate cookie, which is like it's a straight
Mm-hmm.
cookie. Like you
I
have to
have
like,
seen that.
yeah, you've
Mm-hmm.
got to scrape or carve through it, and then
Mm-hmm.
it works out great. It's very very good and kind of addicting. And I don't have an ice cream problem, but I think it just returned
Well, I have an
because
ice cream problem because I'm lactose intolerant.
oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry for building all this up, and then you're
It's
just gonna
all
be
good. I can appreciate ice cream
oh,
from
okay.
afar.
Well, and I mean, some people have issues and they don't care. They're like, oh, I don't care. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna do this thing,
Yeah.
and you have your issues later, but that's in the privacy
Hey,
of
I
your own
didn't
home.
I didn't know until maybe a year ago.
Oh,
I had it,
really?
I guess I've had it my whole life. It makes sense now that I figured it out.
Feels like a
It
latent
makes a
thing,
lot of sense.
or you've
Yeah.
always had it.
I think I've probably always had it.
Oh, okay.
It makes sense. It's like, oh, that's why I was sick all the time. Got
Oh,
it.
so that whole gallon of milk you ingested, that's makes
No,
perfect
because you
sense.
eat dairy. There's dairy in so many things,
Mm-hmm.
and the effects can become like 2 days later. You
Oh,
don't even
okay.
know.
Yeah.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean? It's not like an immediate thing. Not all the time. So if you're constantly eating dairy, just like gluten, people who have gluten intolerance, if you're just eating these things that you're allergic to all the time, the results might not show up right after you eat it. So you never
Mm,
really know unless you completely eliminate that thing from your diet, which
I
is what I
see.
did. Because
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, I can't give up gluten. My doctor's like, give up dairy for 2 weeks and then give up gluten for 2 weeks. I'm like, I'll go with the dairy because no thank you on the gluten. Like, bread is amazing.
Oh,
No
yes.
way.
Bread is great. Um, well, dairy is great because I
Yeah.
need my cheese. So I mean,
Like,
I
I
still
can
think
live without cheese more than I can live without bread in all forms. You
so
know?
no more grilled cheese sandwiches.
Nope. And no
Uh,
more pizza.
oh, pizza. Oh, that is, the basements of my heart just been shattered. Oh my goodness.
Mine too. The Italian inside of me is crying.
Oh wow. Crying. I'm thinking it sounds a little devastating. Mhm. But
It's
we'll
all
jump
good.
back to movies. We'll jump back to movies because this is too sad.
Don't
Ye-
cry for me. I'm okay.
this is speaking of sadness, that's probably like maybe why I didn't see some of the movies. Not because I know I'm going to be sad. I'm just like, for example, I know Still Alice is a pretty heartbreaking movie, and
Which movie
I
is that?
hmm?
Which movie is that?
That's the one with Julianne Moore, the one that she pretty much just won every award she was nominated for.
Okay, cool.
Um, all I know it's about her character having Alzheimer's, and
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, that's enough right there. Like I've
yeah.
had
No
relatives
thanks.
that had it, and it's just a heartbreaking thing to watch them
Mhm.
go through it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to. I mean, I'm more than likely. Obviously, she must have did a good job because she just pretty
Hmm.
much cleaned up everything, but I didn't want to sit there and watch it. Maybe one day I
But
gotta.
she's been so good in so many movies and has never won before. I'm kind of surprised by that. So they kind of owed it to her.
Me too. Me too. I do agree with that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
would
other
have.
sad movies, like I'm the same way. Like if a movie looks too sad, I won't watch it. Like I've
Hmm.
still not seen Precious.
Oh, me neither. I
It
haven't
just
seen it yet
it
either.
looks too sad. I'm like, no, I'm good.
I have no idea how it ends yet. I am curious, and
Yeah.
like one day I'll
No, I'm
bring
not
myself to
curious.
watch it. But
Mm-mm.
because I like to support, since I got to support the black filmmakers, I do want to support
Yeah.
that film. But I just like, man, that just looks like it's just written, not written, but just like
Uh,
reeking with like tears and
I
just
know.
heaviness. I'm gonna need like 3 hours of cartoons after I'm done, just to
Yeah,
build
you're gonna
myself
need
up.
SpongeBob for at least an hour.
And I don't even like SpongeBob, and I'll
Oh,
still
you don't
watch
like
it. I
SpongeBob?
don't watch SpongeBob.
So you're not gonna see the SpongeBob movie then.
Probably not. No. Not. I'll put it this way. I'm not gonna go like by myself to watch it. If it's on Netflix, I'm not gonna watch it unless somebody else is requesting it. That's probably the only way I'm gonna watch SpongeBob
All right.
because that's how I watched it before. I don't hate SpongeBob. I'm just not like, oh, SpongeBob. No, I'm just
Oh, you're not
yeah.
one of us. Okay.
Well,
Well,
the way I feel about SpongeBob, he's just sometimes for me just feels a little like I don't even want to say the word overrated, but I kind of almost feel like SpongeBob the way I feel about Beyonce. And
I agree with you on Beyonce
yeah.
so hard, but not SpongeBob. Just because I feel like SpongeBob, yeah, it's overrated by the kids, but the if you watch SpongeBob as an adult, there's so many jokes in there that like you'll ever get. Like
and
it has those like funny adult jokes in it that they hide, and that's the best part about SpongeBob.
and I believe it, and it's just I think I haven't brought myself to just tune in to see them.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, Oscar night. We'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Do you make predictions like
I
beforehand?
did, I was having trouble like using this app that our friend Magdalena had sent. It was like pick your ballot and all this. I can tell you what I think should have won,
Okay.
but I didn't write it down and then count.
Oh,
I
okay.
just know like I thought Birdman should win everything, and they pretty much did.
Yeah, they did. In fact, that's actually what was surprising me and what threw me off. I did make
Yeah.
my last episode. I had all my predictions out,
Hmm.
and some of which I kind of lied. Somehow I, like for example, best adapted screenplay. I got in my head that Gone Girl was nominated, so
It should have been.
it should have been, yeah. Because I think the reason how I got that is I was looking at all the other awards they won for adapted screenplay. So I'm like, oh
Yeah.
well, clearly they're in the Oscars, and I just made that
Did you read
assumption.
the book?
I did not read the book. No.
Oh, I read it. It was way different than not way different, but it was in the film.
Hmm.
But I would say the way they took the film because it wasn't written in a way that made sense as a movie.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It just the way they took it was great. I think it should have been nominated for sure. And I
Nominated
would
and
have even
probably maybe a win, maybe.
yeah, I would have given it a win.
Okay.
But what actually won? I don't remember.
Imitation Game, because I do remember when I first wrote out my like predictions, I
Hmm.
actually had that written, and then I crossed out like, oh no, Gone Girl's gonna win that. Not just like they're not even nominated. I don't care. Gone Girl's gonna win. So after I went back and I did another like ballot from like a Hollywood Reporter,
Hmm.
I saw like, wait a second, Gone Girl's not listed here. So I looked back at my little scribbles and saw Imitation Game was there, and Imitation actually won. So I'm like, okay, good.
That is the one movie I didn't see.
I haven't seen that one either, and that's another one that feels going to be a little bit sad, but at the same time, I still do want to really see it. So
That doesn't look that sad to me. What was sad, I'll tell you, is The Theory of Everything.
yeah, that's the other one.
Did you see that one?
I haven't yet, but
It was like I was bawling in the theater.
mm,
It was really, really sad.
The one I did see that was sad, and like I said, I was really bad this year at catching up on all these movies, was Selma. It was the first one I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that in theaters, and I almost cried in the theater.
Yeah, it was touching.
It was. So, but
Now,
it was really good.
what did you think of it? Other than, I mean,
It it was definitely very like inspiring and motivating.
mhm.
And what I really liked about it is how it really just painted the picture of the man, like Martin Luther King. And all my years, like growing up, we're one that's really big on celebrating Martin Luther King Day. My parents used to take me to, and some one of the towns in Connecticut, we had like marches that we would attend every year, and like then it would end at a church, and we go to like a Martin Luther King service, and maybe a lot of other black kids kind of went through this growing up, or even just adults. They still do it now, where and I kind of, and even Black History Month, we go back and we learn about, you know, Martin Luther King. We learn the same things, the same. But what this film really did was just broke down, like really showed me what it is. You know, first of all, that he's a man and he's got his own problems, and he's got flaws and fears just like everybody else does. And then it really, see, there he is barking now. And he just what everybody else was going through. It really just painted it more in color, and I wasn't just reading it from a book. So it brought it to life. It really brought it to life. This
Do you
movie.
think the actor should have been nominated?
Oh, definitely. Because
you really do?
I do, because first of all, he is an actor that for me is fairly new, even though I've already seen him in 2 other movies.
Oh, really?
One is Interstellar. The other one I cannot remember off the top of my head.
He was in Interstellar?
Yeah.
Who was he?
He was the only other black guy in that movie.
The guy that got killed?
Eventually, yes, he was killed, but he was the one who was left on the ship.
Huh? Spoiler.
Oh yeah, we are spoiling it a little bit, but I mean, I've gushed about that movie so much. Anyway, even though I meant to go back to watch it a couple times in the theater, I never got around to it. Yeah.
It was so good.
It was. Oh,
and I'm so glad that it won the. I knew exactly what it was gonna win. I was like, it's gonna win for sound, like whatever they did with, you know, with those moments when it would be really quiet out in space.
Yes.
It needed an award for that, and I think it won something like that.
It won for best visual effects.
Yeah, exactly. That's spot on for sure. So I definitely got that right.
Sound, however, did not win.
It didn't?
No.
Not well. It was really good. I mean, once I saw Whiplash, though, I'm like, all right, fine.
If you insist.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Fine.
That's the other one I still have not seen yet. What I really do want to see, especially now with everything that's happened. But I do want to see Whiplash.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Because I'm a big fan of... I guess you could say I'm a big fan of J.K. Simmons now. I think I've always been. Yeah. Like, anytime I see him, like, oh, I might have to see that, whatever that is.
He's in so many things that we don't even realize. Like,
I know.
It's like he's just such a recognizable face, you know?
And not just because of the commercials, but what I didn't know, and I learned this from SNL, is that he is actually the voice of the yellow M&M, and I never, ever knew that.
I found that out like yesterday, I think, and I was really surprised by that. It makes sense now that I heard it. I'm like, oh, I get it.
Made me appreciate those commercials a little bit more now. Like,
yeah, now I want to know who the red M&M is.
Me too. I really do.
I like him better.
And
he's my favorite.
In my mind, I'm thinking it's somebody like Billy Crystal, but I have no idea who it is. So
I don't know.
I know it's not him, but.
But anyway, I forgot to say about Selma. I think. Obviously, the story is very perfect to be a film.
Right.
But where I feel like they lacked was in the cinematography.
Okay.
And maybe I'm going to just call it the director kind of not being as strong as she should have been, you know? Because all the actors gave a great performance. The casting was perfect. Like, most of those people looked spot on. Like, I knew exactly who they were. You didn't have to say a word. Like, they casted really well.
Right.
And the production obviously was great. They had all these archival footage and stuff. Like, no problem there. But they were showing all these weird angles of, like, Martin Luther King from the side. You can't see his face. I mean, I understand you're trying to give some, like, mystique to him, but You had a scene where Coretta Scott King is crying, and they're showing her from like a mile away. I'm exaggerating, but like a mile away, and like from the side of her head. And I'm like, wait, but I want to see her
You
face.
want to see the
You know what I
tears
mean?
rolling down.
Yeah, like it wasn't like conventionally shot, and then they had all these weird like composition things that were, because I'm a filmmaker and I look for that stuff and I appreciate good filmmaking, and the cinematography just wasn't there. Like it wasn't what this movie needed. It's such an epic story, it's such an important story, and it's like they didn't really put enough into that part of it.
No, it didn't. Like you didn't feel it was a sense of like an artistic choice, or maybe if it was, it didn't look that it didn't work for the scenes that, for example, the crying scene that you were mentioning.
Yeah,
You
I
would have preferred
mean,
something a little
okay, so
more
when
intimate.
he went and gave the speech at the end,
Mm-hmm.
that big speech, there are such like perfect, amazing, iconic photos of that speech, and they shot it from below with all these microphones in his face, and I get that.
Because
That's
as
the
a
artistic
person part of
choice.
that march, you would have that's what you
Hmm.
would have seen.
Exactly.
Right.
I get that. But the way they would like pan the camera and they would stop it where like the microphones are covering his eyes. And it's like if you would have just went like another centimeter, we could see his eyes. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was killing me. I was like dying inside. I'm like, oh my God, they needed such a better cinematographer. Or I don't know. I don't want to blame the cinematographer. It could have been the director. Maybe the editor chose a bad shot. I have no idea. But
Mm.
it should have been so much better. It should have looked so much better, so much more grand, and like it should have looked the way the what's his name, the theory of everything, the way that looked.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm just
The
agreeing
the
for the
look
sake
of
of
it. Yeah, I know.
since it is on my list to see. I definitely will see the rest of these movies. It's just
Yeah,
it was a busy weekend. So
I know. Me too. I feel like I just watched movies all weekend. I spent 13 hours at the movie marathon,
wow.
and then I went home on Sunday and I watched about three more movies. So,
Because I watched Birdman Saturday night,
mhm.
and it ended
Yeah,
up being like really late, but it was like really worth it because like wow, this was actually really good.
yeah.
Um, and I was impressed, but and then after that I did even more research, like finding out like how tightly written the script had to be.
Yeah.
And had I done that bit of research more, I think I probably would have actually chose Birdman to get best original screenplay.
Mhm.
And I had went with previous research and gave that one to Grand Budapest Hotel, which it did not get. So,
I don't think that was Wes Anderson's best film, though.
well,
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not calling myself a huge Wes Anderson fan, even though I've seen a lot of his movies. I haven't seen them all.
Yeah, same here.
I did want to see Moonrise Kingdom. I still haven't seen that one yet.
That was pretty good. I would say it was better than this.
Okay, I'll keep
But
that in
my
mind.
favorite, it didn't have enough Jason Schwartzman in it for me.
That's true.
That's
There was
just,
only just a little bit.
it was like a minute and then he left. And I was so sad. I'm like, no, I want you back.
I think I might have to say my favorite one would be Fantastic Mr. Fox out of all his
Oh,
films.
really? I haven't seen that one.
That one it's definitely cute and just like maybe because it's the whole stop motion photography thing.
Oh, it's in
Um,
stop motion? I didn't
yeah,
realize. Okay,
it's
now I have to see it.
yeah, it's a good one. It's definitely is a good one.
Okay.
But I thought that would have been a one that was a contender for cinematography because actually now I'm not even sure. I can't remember who won. I
Oh,
think they
I'll judge
won.
it.
No, they didn't win. 'Cause Birdman won that one.
Yeah, and it should have, for
Right.
sure.
Right, definitely. Because I mean, just the whole. That's what I was talking about. The technicalities of Birdman. That was just a feat all its own. And I sent a text to one of my friends. It might come off as sounding racist, but I mean, it can't do any worse than what Sean Penn did. So, but I sent a text to one of my friends. She's a very, very, very hardworking person, and she likes to say all the time. She's Puerto Rican, but she likes to say she's working hard like a Mexican.
Okay.
Because she's got like 3 jobs or whatever.
Hi,
So.
Oscar. That's my Mexican friend.
Actually, yeah, I used to have a Mexican friend named Oscar. I don't know where he went.
Oscar.
But he not he, she. I texted her this morning saying, now even harder now because they put together a film that is meant to look. It's in one continuous take, and I just basically explained what the mechanics of Birdman is about, and
Yeah.
told her that I'm now okay with her using, saying that she's working hard like a Mexican because at least you can get 3 Oscars for it.
That's right.
So it was
They worked really hard, and so now it's accurate. It's not racist.
right, exactly. So maybe now my friend should deserve herself an Oscar, even though nothing what she's doing is in the entertainment field.
Although, is that really an insult? I mean, I don't know.
It isn't now. It's definitely a compliment. You just got to add the name at the end of it, which I kept tweeting, and I still already kind of forgot how to pronounce his name completely. But
I think it's like Inaritu is his
yes,
name.
Inarritu, and we're probably not saying it right because we're not Spanish speakers. But oh man, if I could, I would just love. You know what? I'm gonna have to get that movie, and hopefully
Yeah.
the director commentary is on it because I can listen to him talk all day long.
I know. He was so well spoken, and well, I loved what he said about that crazy people made the movie
Mm-hmm.
because as a filmmaker, I'm crazy.
Right.
And like I got it. Like I totally got the point of that movie. Like that nothing that you do is ever good enough no matter how hard you work on something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I totally got it. And so I loved what he said.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah, I love what he said, and I think just how he said it.
Yeah.
And he does look a little crazy. Maybe it's the hair, but maybe that's a
Filmmakers are
Mexican
all
thing.
crazy. We're all crazy in a good way.
Oh, okay. Good. That's definitely good to know.
You need to be a little like OCD and a little weird to be a filmmaker.
I believe it. Definitely believe it. I'm trying to think of other examples. All the ones that have quirks. So Alfred Hitchcock, he's a little
Yep.
quirky, a little weird.
Mhm.
John Waters, I don't know why he was the next one that came to mind, but yeah, they're up there. They're weird. But yeah, speaking of acceptance speeches and just stay weird, stay different, I totally clung on to that, and that is now going to be one of my new mantras. And that was for Graham. I want to say Thomas, not Thomas. The one who won for adapted screenplay.
Okay.
But that was one of the things I took away from his speech, which was very, very genuine. And
Jason Hall.
Jason Hall?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For American Sniper?
Nope. Imitation Game, the writer.
The guy that said he was going to kill himself.
Right, that one,
Graham
yes.
Moore.
Okay, Graham Moore.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That speech, like, I was nervous when he said he was going to kill himself. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know where you were going with that, but
Yeah.
then he went off and
He
just
pulled it out.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good.
and like, that was just that was like a cloud 10 for him because of winning, having Oprah present that to him.
Yeah. I would have said the same thing. Like, thanks, Oprah. Like, that's awesome.
Because
How
you're
awesome
not gonna
is
get
that?
another chance like that. Just to like,
I know.
by the way, Oprah, thank you for this. And even she complimented him after he was done. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I thought that was a nice little highlight for him. But yeah, that was it was definitely a great, like the awards. I got 15 out of 24 predictions correct, which I think is kind of how I did last year, about that much. So the ones that threw me off were Best Actor. I thought Michael Keaton would have got that again.
I was hoping, but they're not going to give Batman an Oscar ever. I want them to, because he's my favorite Batman.
He's almost everybody's favorite Batman.
They're never going to give him an award. Like, he'd have to play Lincoln or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. You'd really have to. You have to play Lincoln with cancer that fights for. I was gonna say fights for slaves, but he kind of already did that as Lincoln.
He
but yeah, he'd really have to go above and beyond. But I thought he did. He went above and beyond for this role. It was a really role, but
it was amazing. I thought it was great.
Even if and I kept calling him Michael Oyelowo, but it's really David.
Okay.
His first name's David. I was just focusing on his last name. First name could have been Walter. But even if he was nominated, I think I still would have said Michael Keaton would have won. But I don't know. That would have changed up everything, even if Oyelowo was nominated. Maybe. because I thought he should have been nominated.
Who is that? Oh, okay, MLK. Got it. I can't pronounce his name, and so when you say it, I'm like, what?
Oh yeah. Once I heard it said, I kept saying it to myself so I wouldn't mess it up. But I think I'm also kind of thirsty, so maybe I should have lubricated before I start throwing out all these names, because I'm definitely not gonna try to they call him Chewy, even though I think you have to be his friend. But that actor who was nominated last year for 12 Years a Slave, and I have to I have it written down and I have it written phonetically, so I can remember how to say his name.
I think if they would have had the right camera angles on him, and if the director was stronger, he would have won.
Right. Yeah.
I completely think he was capable of. I think he did a great job in the movie. I just think they didn't capture it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't capture it. So.
And as for the director's name is Ava DuVernay. See, I'm tripping over. I'm just gonna call her Ava. But
Ava.
I think people just wanted the nomination or just the recognition of her. Because even if she was nominated, she wasn't gonna win. But I think they just wanted her nominated.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And I'm a female director, and I'm all for let's have some female directors, but that movie had some problems. I have to admit it, So.
And it's just my own thing. It's not a movie that I would watch multiple times because I'm sensitive and emotional. But I think Birdman is one that I probably could watch a second time.
I'm gonna buy the DVD. I don't buy DVDs, but Birdman, I want to study it.
Yeah, because that is one to study.
I want to study. Yeah, I want to see every shot, how they did it.
The rehearsals.
To watch it again. Yeah, I want to hear all the backstage stuff, everything.
Yeah, that is actually one to it is one to study, definitely. And Boyhood was completely shut out. You have seen it, I have not, so I don't.
It was really good.
Okay.
The only thing that bothered me that I wrote down, because I was taking notes during the marathon just so I'd have things to tell you.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like was that it had blurry shots. And I know also the making of Boyhood on show, they have it on Showtime on demand for some reason. The making of, but the movie's not there. So I watched anyway. I watched the the making of, and they said they shot the whole thing on 35mm film so that it would look consistent.
Good choice.
From 12 years. And I get that, but some of them, the shots were blurry and it was really distracting, at least to me. And then some of their actors, their non-main actors, were just terrible actors.
I guess because when he first started, and then I don't know, I can't say because
in the middle of the movie there was this girl on a bike. You'll see it when you watch it now. Look for the girl on the bike. She was terrible. But
I'll keep a lookout for that. Hopefully it won't be too distracting, but from a lot of the
girl on the bike, you're gonna be like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, lost that one, the bike, but yeah, I will watch that one soon. I will finish Grand Budapest Hotel, and I think the next one up for me would be Whiplash, because I do really want one.
It was really well paced. I watched it. I finished watching it right before the Emmys came on, and so the Oscars. I mean, right before the show came on, and so I had just watched it, and I'm like, oh my god, that was amazing. And then I was like, that needs to win Best Editing.
And it did.
And then it did, and I was like, yes, I told you. I got it. I was so excited.
That one I thought for sure Boyhood would have won, because you had to put together 12 years of film. I almost said 12 Years a Slave.
Technically, yes, but they did it all on 35mm film, so it was all the same. It's not like they said we're going to use VHS and we're going to use all these different things.
Okay.
And I get 12 years. Okay, I would have given it to the director.
Yeah, that's what I thought would have got. That's who I had picked.
I was expecting him to have won the Best Director just for his commitment and for that experiment that he did, you know?
Right.
And for it actually becoming a film. I heard a joke this morning that said thank God no one died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like you would have been screwed.
So what happened to your mother? Oh, well, you know.
New mom. Or just a random other actress shows up, you know.
Serious
But I don't
plastic
know.
surgery. Oh, it's a good thing they didn't use Uma Thurman or Renee Zellweger. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, so sad about Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I've saw the
I'm so
pictures.
disappointed.
I really like her.
I love Uma Thurman.
Oh,
She's
man.
like one of my favorite actresses. And I'm really disappointed that she did that to her face.
Yeah, it's...
She doesn't look like herself anymore.
She doesn't. She really doesn't. So I mean, they're gonna say, "Oh, new Uma Thurman movie," and I'm like, "That's not Uma Thurman." And I thought there was a rumor of another Kill Bill, but now I'm not as interested.
No, and I wonder if Tarantino will even cast her.
Oh,
at this
yeah.
point. She doesn't even look like herself anymore. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if they ever dated or whatever, but I always thought they had a thing.
Yeah, they did seem close.
Like he liked her or something. Like something was there.
Well,
You
who
know?
wouldn't?
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I feel bad. I sometimes get her confused with Heather Graham. But
Oh, really?
well,
Okay.
only because they're kind of a blonde and they have a kind of look about them. But with Heather Graham,
Okay,
we
but,
share a
like,
birthday.
Uma
So.
Thurman can kick Heather Graham's ass.
Oh yeah,
Like, she's
definitely.
like a foot taller.
I completely agree. So
Like they're in a different weight class.
I know it's maybe it's kind of almost sacrilegious. I even make that kind of comparison, but that's just my brain sometimes the way
That
it
is
works.
racist.
It is racist. Yes. All blonde, blue-eyed women look the same to me. So
Wow.
except for Scarlett Johansson, I seem to make a
Yeah.
difference for her. So
Did you see Lucy?
I did see Lucy.
I saw it yesterday in my movie binging.
Oh wow, how was that within all of everything you were watching?
I really liked it. Like I thought it was better than some of the Best Picture nominees.
And that's the crazy thing about it, and it's only I think like movie people like us that we, or maybe I'm just speaking for everybody or all these movie snobs, but like with all the nominated movies are like, oh yeah, that movie was good for so and so and so, but the movie we really really like, or for me, I would have had my Best Picture probably be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, why wasn't that nominated like a million times?
I don't know. I mean, that had everything a movie needed to be. I laughed.
Yeah.
I got sentimental like twice.
Yeah.
Action pack on the edge of my seat thriller.
Yeah.
It actually works in 3D.
Yeah.
What more do you need? I mean, the acting was great. I was lost in the characters. I am Groot. I am Groot.
I mean, even Batista was a good actor in that movie.
Yes, he was.
Rough.
Yes. Yes, he
That
was.
is a feat.
He can get an honorary supporting
an
actor.
Oscar.
Yes. Because that had everything, and that didn't even win for best makeup. I was pulling for best makeup for that one.
Yeah, I thought it would have won best makeup, best costume design, and everything. Like I was really surprised that that Wes Anderson movie won best costume design because all they had on was like the
bellhop,
uniforms,
so, yeah.
the bellhop uniform. They didn't have all these elaborate costumes the way Guardians of the Galaxy had.
Mm-hmm,
I get set design. He deserves that. He always does for those worlds that Wes Anderson creates, but not the costume design. And then that old lady walking to the stage for like 20 minutes. Like, oh boy.
I mean,
here we go.
At least this year they're closer to the stage, because I remember one year I watched the Oscars and they had them like out in like some kind of way in the back, but they had a microphone for them. And
okay.
And like, wow, that's almost like an insult in a sense. Like, you're not good enough to be on the big stage with us, but here's a microphone for you so you don't have to walk as far.
They insulted me so hard yesterday. Just as because mostly what I do is I'm a director and an editor.
Okay.
And so I was really offended when they started playing the music on the editor, the best editor of the year for Whiplash. He wasn't even talking for that long, and they start playing the music. Meanwhile, any recognizable actor comes up and they let them speak for as long as they need. I was just so offended. Like, the editor does so much work.
They do. They really do.
And you're like, oh, no big deal. No one knows who you are.
You know what you do, so just,
Yeah, like
say thank you and go away.
Offended. Like, I was pissed.
But hey, the director, or I'm assuming he was the director for the best foreign film, Ida, or Ida. I've been calling it Ida all this time, but Ida. Um, he didn't care. I think they played off the walk-off music or wrap it up music twice, and he still kept talking.
That's funny.
So, kudos to him. And then what I also want to say, I guess it's all Wes Anderson films, and he actually predates Instagram, but a lot of his shots could be used for Instagram shots, just with the filter already thrown on.
Yeah.
It's all symmetrical, and I understand that's just his style, but after when I was watching, I'm like, wow, any of these shots could just any of these stills could just be used as Instagram kind of fodder,
or like a piece of art, even.
That too, because that's how I felt about Tree of Life, which is one of the last times I was in New York. Actually, that wasn't the last time. Last time I was in New York, I was actually seeing X-Men: Days of Future Past, which also had a nomination for visual effects.
Oh, okay.
That one.
But there was no beating Interstellar, though.
No, there wasn't. I think the only other one that I've heard people like actually talk about was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think whatever the most recent Planet of the Apes.
I didn't
movie
see
was.
that because it looks scary.
It's scary. Like you're not gonna watch it. Scary or?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna watch it.
Wow.
It looks scary.
I have not seen it yet. I
frighten very easily.
I'm not in a rush to see it. So what? Anaconda? You won't be able to do that one either.
Anaconda with J-Lo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
that wasn't scary.
It wasn't scary because it was.
No, that was cheesy.
Oh, okay.
I like cheesy scary, but like movies that are those suspenseful, like things will pop out.
Did they actually put some real money?
No, like things will like you'll walk and then something will jump out of the closet.
Oh, okay.
And then the music goes really loud. Like they did that in Selma. I hate to shit on Selma. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
They did that on Selma, and I felt so pissed at the editor because when the explosion happened with the little girls.
Oh, very early, yeah.
It's like they lost the emotional part of it in the trying to shock us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like I was shocked, yes I was, but I was scared more than I was feeling bad. Like I feel like the whole editing of that was weird.
Now that you put it that way, I feel like that's probably intentional, just to show you that like back then, like if you're trying to do something, even if you weren't, you always have to kind of be on guard because that's the kind of environment that these people lived through. And especially like with the little girls, they were doing nothing. They were just on their way to go to church or whatever they were doing. Whereas at least with King, he was trying to do something, so he had to kind of expect anything to happen at any time. So
good point.
So that's without even meaning to defend it, I guess I just defended it there.
Well, what I missed, what I didn't really understand was the Malcolm X. What happened there? Like I was lost.
And I think I'm kind of
like him.
Yeah, that was also, again, I agree with you, great casting, and I was surprised he even showed up. I'm like, oh wow, we got a cameo from Malcolm X, and by cameo, I obviously not the real one, but but he was there to help, and I do know like later on in his years, actually after he got like I'll just say either exiled or excommunicated from the rest of the Nation of Islam, he had went back to, I think, Israel or somewhere, and he kind of just reevaluated his life and how he was going about trying to make change, and he kind of started to agree or see from King's point of view and wanted to help. So when he came into town, I guess, I don't know, I couldn't tell if he was actually in Selma or he was wherever King's wife was, but basically he was trying to make amends and trying to help out. So he said, well, at least people know what I'm about, so if they see me, they know that I'm the alternative, whereas King, he's a lot more peaceful, so they can either listen to me kind of rile up people or try to do something more peaceful like King. So that's kind of how he was trying to help out. But
now were they saying that the president or that bad guy with the president had him killed? Because then he disappeared. They never showed how he disappeared, which I was like, wait, what happened to Malcolm X? Like, where did he go?
For that, I would have to direct you to Spike Lee's Malcolm X. But basically, it's a conspiracy of how he was killed. Many people believe that it was the Nation of Islam retaliating because he spoke badly of who was in
Hmm.
charge at the time. So they figured,
Yeah, I mean, I understand the story, but in Selma, in the movie Selma,
oh,
I didn't
oh,
feel like it had anything to do with like the story.
I think because he was trying to help, and I think if had he not been assassinated, maybe that would have brought a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like they could have tied it in a little more to the story, like to kind of wrap up, like if they're going to introduce this character,
kind of follow through a little
then
bit
he
more with it.
leaves. Yeah.
It's like,
Then he
oh,
left,
yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm. I
So,
guess
yeah.
for what it was there, what it was worth, I was just happy. I was like, hey, I didn't know he was, even there or a part of it. But
Yeah, it was cool to see him.
maybe that's how they felt. Like, well, where'd he go? What happened? And then they find
Yeah.
out that he was killed. So I'm like, oh.
Mhm.
And I think there was a scene about that.
They
I don't know.
mentioned it like in a line.
Okay.
It was weak storytelling.
So it was just a throwaway line, sort of.
Yeah, like oh, he got blah blah blah, just
Oh,
so they wrap it up,
it's like, oh, he died. Okay, let's move on. I can't go with that plan now.
Never mind.
But yeah. So let's. I mean, because I can sit here and talk movies with you all day, but you
Hmm.
are a filmmaker yourself.
Okay.
So and I even I think Magdalena even gave me one of your films, but
Oh,
I
cool.
apologize. I have since lost it.
It's all good.
Um, but
Maybe someone else has found it.
I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I have a desk that's full of DVDs, and it might have joined that colony.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go through it and
My
review it.
movies are all online.
Okay, I might not even have to go look for it on my
You
desk
won't
then.
have to look for it. It's on
So
my website.
where can we find it then? Oh, you said it's
All my
online.
movies and my films and all my projects that I'm working on now, they're on laurameoli.com.
Okay.
LAURAMEOLI.
Thank you. That's what I was about to ask, if you could
Yep.
spell it. And how long have you been or making movies?
I would say I went to Brooklyn College for film production. So it's been about 7 years that I've been working mostly in television
Okay.
and in online video. Um, and I've been doing films on the side, kind of, and just loving film
Hmm.
because I just love it. But film is kind of a hard thing to love because it costs so much money to make.
Oh yeah.
So I have made one film since college. I'm working on my first feature right now. And I'm working on a web series, which just actually won a Telly Award.
Wow.
Um,
Congratulations.
I'm very excited. Thank you. So it's called Women of Action. And we have a podcast now. It started off as a web series, Women of Action with Lenina. And it's like a talk show where Lenina will interview women who are entrepreneurs, businesswomen, creative people, just cool women.
Women who are taking action, I'm assuming.
We're taking action,
based on the
who have
title, yeah.
achieved their success.
And you said you're a director?
Insight. And I'm directing that,
Okay.
yes. And so now I'm also doing podcasts with her, which is why I'm as comfortable as I am speaking to you, because I would say like a year ago, I would be so scared to do this.
Yeah, it does. I don't realize it now, but I've kind of been in the podcasting game, I guess now for 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and this is my second podcast.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, it is fun because it's part of being a creative, and you are a creative, so you just kind of maybe feel this drive. You have to do something and make something.
Yeah.
And podcasting is a lot cheaper than filmmaking, so
Yes.
it's kind of a little bit quicker of a process, but there's still production and creativity and all that stuff that goes into it. But backing up to the feature, what stages are you in with that? Like, where are you with that?
I have an idea for some characters, and for a world that I want to a story I want to tell, pretty much.
Okay.
I wrote it as a pilot script for a TV show. And it's funny, I took a class a few weeks ago called like pilot writing or something. Like I had finished writing it. I had this goal, like I'm going to write this pilot and I'm going to enter in festivals. I have entered it, but I didn't feel like I knew what the next step was because
Okay.
I'm a film person, and so I've decided to turn it into a feature film after going to that class. And he said, "Well, what is your story? Can you tell it in a series or in like an hour and a half?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I could tell it in an hour and a half. Like
Hmm.
that sounds right." So I'm like, "Oh, I'll make it a film," and it feels a lot less scary because I actually kind of know now how to go about it. So I'm writing it, and then I'm gonna start producing it at some point.
That's good.
Although I'm not like really the expert on like fundraising or like getting money to make a feature.
Okay.
So that will be interesting. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, because I mean, I definitely know there are many ways to go about it. I mean, there are so many like crowdfunding sites now
Mhm.
besides just like Kickstarter. Because I've been asked to donate, which I do like to do, because I know how difficult it is to get money to do
Yeah.
things like that. So I do the best I can to support where I can.
Hmm.
But you said it was difficult. Was that the first thing that came to mind when you said it was not difficult, but trying to tell a story within like an hour and a half? Is like knowing the ending? Is that something
Yeah.
that made it a little easier, or made you decide to go to feature film versus trying to make this into a series?
Yeah, I think it's because I always knew the ending.
Okay.
And so trying to write it into a TV series, you have to kind of always stretch out and add things and leave everything unresolved so that you have another season,
Right.
another episode.
Somewhere else to go.
Yeah, and my idea is more like, well, I know how I want it to end. I know the lesson, I know the theme. So let me just get it over with. Not get it over with, but
Well, yeah,
like
you want to have a nice little tied up, so you don't have to
well,
worry about
package.
like
Yeah.
canceled, and then
Yeah, and then to make a TV series is going to be 10 times more expensive because you have 10 episodes versus one, you know?
mm-hmm.
So I
Or
just feel much more comfortable with it.
could always do a mini series too, maybe, because
Maybe.
that's what supposedly NBC's The Slap is supposed to be, which I have not watched.
That looks weird.
It does, and I mean, I've made several jokes with my family about like saying how they've been slapped. There's no TV shows about that, um, or there's
I
like
used to get slapped all the time.
yeah. So I guess maybe it's because, like I said, I've never watched it. I did try to watch the first episode, but then I got distracted probably with ice cream, and I never finished
Yeah.
it. But I'm also asking these questions because I have also been working somewhat on a project.
Uh-huh.
It's more of a concept, and I'm going to actually do a video explaining what it is
Okay.
and trying to find people that are interested in getting it to go somewhere.
Cool.
And all it started with two things actually. First, I like the show Mad Men,
Mm-hmm.
and I just had this wondering, just this curiosity, what would this world that she captured
Mm-hmm.
on television, what would it look like from the black perspective? And
Oh.
then we were introduced to the Draper's not nanny but maid, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
before she was fired, and I kind of wondered where she went. So I
Okay.
started with that, and I just kind of thought about what she might have been going through, and it's like the late '60s, so they're going through the civil rights era, and of course these executives out on Wall Street, these older white guys, they're not really focused on that, whereas
Mm-hmm.
I would say even my ancestors would be. Um, so I kind of thought about that, did some research. At the same time, I'm also really into music, like listening to a whole bunch of different things, and I really like title sequences.
Okay.
So I decided to design my own title sequence for the show. I mean, these two ideas didn't really come together until after I was actually trying to put these things together.
Yeah, that's how
So
it works.
yeah, exactly. So the title sequence, I made a title sequence and I showed it to people, and some people I didn't even tell them what my idea for the show would be. They just
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh my god, what is the show? I want to watch it right now."
Oh, it's
And
awesome.
all it is just photos I snatched from all over on Google
Mm-hmm.
of random pictures from the 60s of civil rights, or just civil rights and justice, all just
Mm-hmm.
thrown with a sepia tone on it, and some titles of like actors. I even asked around people just randomly. It's like, hey, who would you want to see in a TV show? So I got a lot of people saying Idris Elba, because they're just all in love with his milk chocolatey-ness.
Goodness.
Yes. I threw Denzel Washington in there because I had an idea for him, and I'm like, I know he's busy with like being awesome in movies
and rich
and everything, so I wouldn't want to nail him down into a series, and basically I kind of put him in a Sean Bean kind of scenario. So those of you who are familiar with Game of Thrones kind of know where I'm going with that. So he'd be one to star in the show, but he doesn't have to stay unless he wants to. And then I'm also thinking maybe just be a miniseries, so it doesn't matter anyway. All these people can leave after it's done. But basically, I just have this idea, and I have a thing to show how I would want to start it out, and it's out there in the world.
Indiegogo ready to go. Yeah,
pretty much. The only thing is I haven't written anything. What I do have is I have a billboard, not a billboard, but like not a poster board either. Bulletin board. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
And it's full of index cards for all my characters. I have a couple of the episode ideas. Like I have a Thanksgiving episode that's going to be basically a bottle episode. Everybody's in the house, take care of like Thanksgiving dinner, and it will be some laughs, some cries, and things be it's everything's in my head. It's just I haven't gotten to the point of writing it down.
That's the hardest part.
Right.
Is like organizing all these things flowing around in your brain.
Right. And I've lived with these characters in my head for about maybe 6 months, if not more now.
Wow, yeah. You've got to just write every day. Write something down.
So you said you have like the characters in the world. Do you write down the characters? Or do you just start writing the story?
Well, I don't know if my method is the best, but I just tend to write whatever comes in my brain.
Okay.
And I'll write it as notes, and then once I had my outline for the pilot, I started writing the scenes, and that's how it kind of worked for me. The class I took had a really great, I can't remember his name, but the great professor that was talking to us, he said he writes every single day. He writes in longhand, like on paper, and then he types it up, and then he does the structure and the outline, and he has a whole packet.
Wow.
I'll share some of that nugget with you later.
Okay, cool. that'll be actually be helpful.
The key that I got from that class was you have to write every day.
I've been hearing that a lot more, so
get it out.
Yeah. I've been hearing that, and I think I really need to just do that, because I was at a point where I was doing it, but then I stopped because I wasn't doing screenwriting. I was doing more poetry stuff at the time.
Yeah,
I was writing every day, but yeah, because I have to get it out, so at least I can work and move on to other things, and then, but still writing every day.
Well, you can use your poetry as episodes.
That is true too. It is very, very true, because I do have all these characters I want to delve into, and I want to make them really rich and really, vibrant, and but yes.
Don't get caught up in what you want it to be, I think, is the best thing I can say.
Okay.
Just write the best that you can, and it will happen.
Sounds
I feel like I hold myself back sometimes. It's because I'm like, oh, I want it to be so great, and oh, I want it to be this, and I want it to be that. You just have to do it.
Well, I will jump back into Women of Action, is it?
Yes.
How long has that been going now?
We had a season that started last year in January.
Okay.
We had 4 episodes. We have 5 more coming, which I'm editing them now. So this is the 2nd year. And we just started the podcast recently. So I think not so bad for a year old.
No, yeah. This is a website as well. Just
it's right now. It lives on YouTube and on Facebook.
Okay.
It's youtube.com/woa with Lenina, WOA with Lenina, LENINA.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
So that's definitely one to check out and subscribe, and new episodes are on the way, because you said you're editing.
They're on the way. Yeah, I'm going to Italy next week, so once I come back, I'll be editing.
Okay. No editing while you're away. I've tried going on vacation and doing
No
work.
editing.
It just does not mix.
Really? Oh my god.
It was ridiculous. I was staying in a beach house, actually trying to put together a podcast, or edit it, and I'm like, what am I doing? And
Yeah.
I just closed my laptop and I went out on the porch and watched the sunset. So yeah,
Enjoy the moment.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did, and I cherished each and every little grain of sand that did not get in my shoe because I'm good like that. But yeah, it was. I miss those days.
Yeah.
Hoping no one can hear my dog whimpering. He's been whimpering for like the last half an hour.
He sounds so sad. What's happening?
Out.
Oh.
And it's because we have other people in the house. He's only going to go there just to bark at them. So I just have him in here with me. So
I have similar pet problems. My cat, the second that I started recording, I closed the door so he would stay out, and he starts scratching.
Oh wow.
I'm like, oh, you can't like let me close the door for like 1 minute.
I recently heard of a fix where I guess you can put a gate, like a child gate or something. This was I was actually reading from somebody else. I'm like, what good is this? But maybe that might help you. I don't know.
Maybe
because at least they can see you, but they just can't come in. Because
that would be really funny.
We have that for him, so whenever he needs to stay in the kitchen, we just put up the gate so he stays in the kitchen.
That's really
mostly
funny.
If we want him to eat his food or stay away from the little babies that are in here. He's getting
babies.
Well, because my sister will come with her. Oh, basically, it's my nephew.
Oh, cool.
So his name is Eli. He doesn't quite interact with Chief playfully or
gentle.
Yes, gentle, because Eli would like to either play with his tail or stick his fingers in his nose, and that's how he gets nipped at.
Yeah.
So we don't
Kids
want that.
don't know how to deal with animals.
Yeah, especially Chief because he's small. So
yeah,
he doesn't need that in his life.
No.
But I think that's all that I have for you.
Okay.
And I mean, it was definitely a great chat, and I'm so happy we got to do this.
I know, you're awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You're such a wealth of information, and we'll definitely have to speak on more movies too, especially like if you see one and you want to review it, or I see one, like I gotta talk to somebody about this film. Or is there anything out that you want to see?
You need to go see SpongeBob movie.
All right, I'll think about it. It's not. It's out now actually.
It's out.
I really want to see Kingsman.
I want to see the Kingsman too. I'm a little thrown off by like that it's live action SpongeBob. But I don't know. I kind of still want to see it.
I mean, I think that the live action part is almost a bit of a perk for me.
Oh, okay.
Because it's different. So I'm like, okay. So, and if like
you're gonna be a SpongeBob fan after all.
You said that, not me.
I know it. I know it.
Even if it comes down that I end up being one, and I'm saying that's a big if, I may not neither confirm or deny. I just may plead the fifth on if I'm a SpongeBob fan.
Fine.
But
did you see Foxcatcher yet?
I did not.
I want to see it.
That was another one that kind of like I feel like I know enough about it that I don't have to see it.
Oh, really?
But I mean, I don't want to mean it in a bad way, but like like I know the story. I think I heard enough interviews about it, and then I kind of went and did my own research on what really happened because it's based on a true story. And I think I'll probably just be seeing it just to see Steve Carell disappear into that character.
Yeah, and he's a great actor. I love when like comedians can play a serious role. Like it throws everyone off. And speaking of, they need to have a comedy. They need to have a comedy nomination in the Oscars.
They should. Yes, we mentioned this briefly about how there's no comedy. Okay, he's getting a little louder now. Let me let him out.
They don't care. They don't care about comedy at all.
No. And I mean, I can't. They consider Birdman to be a comedy, which it does have a couple.
Oh yeah, it was a comedy for sure.
Yeah, it's got some moments. I gotta go let him out. Hold on one second.
Poor doggy.
Okay, he's free.
You're free.
He went and ran away. But yeah, they do need so basically you kind of suggesting something like the Golden Globes have.
Yeah, I think the Golden Globes is a better award show, honestly. I like that they have the comedy thing, and I would want um an action selection as well.
Right. So that would bring that to the
That's
forefront.
what people watch. Everyone is watching it. You're gonna say it doesn't exist or it doesn't deserve an award. I mean, the fact that the Avengers didn't get an award, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
or those 3 last Batman movies from Christopher Nolan.
And that's
Ridiculous.
something I did tweet out, that like, when will Chris get some love?
Yeah.
Because Inception is still one of my top favorite films, and that was just great at everything. I mean, I loved everything about it. And that kind of goes into saying also with Leonardo DiCaprio just being shut out each and every. What does he have to do?
Which I don't get that.
I don't either.
What does he have to do? I mean, he's in all these serious movies. It's not like he's Zach Galifianakis or something, who I think did great in Birdman.
Oh yeah, he did.
But like, he's never going to get an Oscar because he's funny.
Right.
You know?
It's like, oh no, he's one of those funny guys. You can't give one to him.
Yeah.
But there are some exceptions to the rule, like the late great Robin Williams, because he went. What was that? That was for Good Will Hunting.
He needed a whole tribute at that show. I was really disappointed. Right.
I mean, I definitely don't disagree. I'm still standing by what my thoughts were. Like, if he had died like last week or just really recently, where they like, because a lot of other shows did do like a tribute, like you're talking about. I think even the Globes might have did one.
Yeah, I think they did.
Either the Globes or the Emmys. There wasn't one award show that came on, and I was actually on vacation, and I had watched it, and I'm like, wow, that was really kind of moving. And I guess because it happened so long, I don't want to say so long ago, but like
in their world,
yeah, in Oscar's world, where that it's like, if it was more recent, we would have probably gotten one. As long as the show was, they could have actually taken out some of those reminders of what's in Neil in Neil's mystery box. If they took out some of those segments, they could have.
That was a waste of time.
It was definitely a waste of time. Because I mean, if they didn't keep drawing our attention to it, I think it would have had a better payoff.
Yeah.
Because there's something.
I mean, I've seen tricks like that done on America's Got Talent.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, that's just like the new magic show, the new magic trick, and they did it so often that I was like, really, they're doing this trick right now?
And it wasn't impressive.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. Like, if he had disappeared or something at the end, I would have been like, oh, okay, fine.
Brought an elephant on stage.
Yeah.
Like, where was that hiding? And
something.
Yeah. But no, that was. I did laugh at some of the jokes in that was in the card, but overall, I'm like, this does not paying off for me. So. No. But I will. Guess we can wrap it up, and I'll let you get going.
Thank you.
My TV shows are on. Not that I'm wrapping up for that reason, because everything.
No, it's all good. I wanted to just ask you. You said you like Inception. Do you watch South Park?
I don't actually. I've been hearing that I'm probably one that should watch it, at least now.
The last season has been really good, and they had an episode that is. It's not spoofing on Inception, but it's Inception-like. And for anyone who likes Inception, you need to watch it. Okay. I think it's called Oculus is the name of the episode.
Oh, that's interesting. That's also the name of a fairly recent device.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll when I look at it, I'll
watch it.
I'll get back to you.
It was really, really good.
I will look up that episode because I started watching it when it first came out, and I'm like, this isn't for me. And I know it's changed since then.
It's so different now.
Yeah. So and since like its beginning days, I almost said since its inception, but since its early days, I haven't watched it like the newer times, especially like since the movie they came out with. I haven't even seen the movie in its entirety, so I'm missing out on a lot.
Well, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
but the past few years, it's really, it's all the stuff that we like. Believe me.
Okay. Do you watch much TV?
You'll like it. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV. I'm watching Sherlock right now.
Oh, okay.
The BBC one.
I do.
Which is really, really good.
I've only seen a couple or maybe just the first season through Netflix. And I'm like, wow, this is good, but it's
amazing.
Sometimes there's just not enough time in the world.
if you only saw season 1, you need to keep going because there's some really good stuff coming up.
Oh, I definitely do. It's just I keep jumping
There's more
around.
Moriarty, which is like amazing.
I'm trying to do. I don't want. It's not an impossible feat, but it's a time-consuming one.
Yeah.
I was just as you're saying, you're terrified of certain things. As a kid, I was terrified of a lot of things, and X-Men was on that. Not X-Men. X-Files was on that list. So X-Files is on Netflix. So I've been trying to watch that. I'm only like 7 episodes into the first season. But
yeah, I tried to watch 24 just as like, oh, I've never seen it. Let me watch it for the editing. And then I'm like, oh, this is so slow. Oh my god.
That's what it is.
Like 3 seasons.
I've only made it to the first season. Or I finished the first season.
Yeah.
And I'm hesitant about going any further.
There's this thing on YouTube where they like summarize how 24 is. I'll send it to you.
Each day? Okay.
No, it's in one video. It tells you exactly what happens.
Okay.
In the whole series, so you don't even need to watch it.
Okay, I think I will rather.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't. It's a lot of hours.
That is a lot of hours, yes.
Investing.
It's literally, what, 8 days I have to watch?
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time.
No, I don't either.
But yeah, I guess next time when you come back, we'll just divulge into TV.
Yes.
Even though I do have some of my other friends that we like to talk TV as well. But I mean, that's partly
cool. We'll talk to them too.
Yeah, that's kind of what this podcast is about. It's all about entertainment. Mostly it tries to stay positive because that's what the whole indoob philosophy is about. Geeky stuff or blurredism, as I'm now embracing. So it's all about all of these good things.
What is?
Well, blurredism is just I just added some more letters to the word blurred, and blurred is a black nerd. Okay. So cool. I don't necessarily do the comic books, but I definitely watch comic book movies and comic book TV shows like The Flash and let's see, Constantine, which may or may not be canceled now, but yeah, I'm into all that stuff.
Cool.
So yeah.
Nice. I didn't know there was a word for that.
I didn't know that till last year, like in around, I don't know what time it was, but Black Girl Nerds or at Black Girl Nerds on Twitter. That's one of our I would say one of my friends, I guess, on who kind of alerted to this community. And I didn't realize how many people are, consider themselves to be well, I guess a black nerd or just a nerd in general. Yeah. But it's been embraced. And I'm part of a collective, so it's good cool. Inside. Yeah.
We should give a shout out to Phil then, my husband.
Yes. Shout out to Phil.
Hi, Phil.
But yes, thanks again, and
thank you.
We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So once again, I want to thank my special guest, Laura Mioli, for dropping by the Indoob podcast. So please check out her podcast at woapodcast.podbean.com. And again, her website is lauramioli.com. That's LAURAMEOLI.com. You can also follow her on Twitter at Loudavision. That's, again, I'll spell that as well, LOUDAVISION. And then, of course, you can find me, Indoob, or, well, I'm T. Sterling Watson, but Indoob, INDOOB.com, and check out my blog, my Twitter, all that fun stuff. And thank you so much for listening. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
The Indoob podcast was recorded on planet Earth and produced somewhere in the state of Connecticut. This has been another 3SFX production.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.